we work together and unite our forces.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to myArbitration on tour. Today we're in Munich to meet the local co-host of the Georgian episode and my dear old friend Nata Ghibradze. Originally from Georgia, Nata moved to Munich a few years ago to start a textbook career in international arbitration. But why did she move to Munich? And is she planning on going back? What's the international arbitration scene like in Georgia anyways? Let's go and find out. Hi Nata.
Hi Victoria, so good to have you here.
We're here in Munich, but originally you're from Georgia. What made you move here to Munich and how long have you lived here?
I moved to Munich a bit over 5 years ago, and I moved here for professional reasons to actually join the international arbitration team at Hogan Lovells.
And do you see yourself moving back to Georgia at any point?
I wouldn't be able to exclude that. I don't have a plan to do that in the foreseeable future. I enjoy my practice here, and I do have a lot of connection with Georgia because I represent the Georgian clients a lot, so my connection with the country stays very active.
So have you witnessed any differences between Georgia and Germany when it comes to arbitration?
Naturally, because arbitration for Georgia is very new as opposed to Germany or Western Europe as a whole. It was, I think, over 15 years ago when arbitration actually came as a discussion. So it's gaining popularity. More and more practitioners focus on international arbitration. In arbitration, we have more institutions, including Georgian International Arbitration Center. But still, there is a lot to do to make arbitration even more popular and to spread the word in the community. But among the students and the new generation, arbitration is as popular, I would say, as in Germany.
What are you planning to explore with your Georgian practitioners and interviewees?
I'm really excited about that. I would explore with them the question what they think were the important steps that have already been undertaken to make arbitration popular, but ask them about what they think needs to be done from the entire community, from the court system, from the government support, and of course from the practitioner side, to make arbitration as the preferred means of dispute resolution.
Thank you so much, Nata. I'm really excited to find out more about that.
Me too. My first guest is Beka Injia, Secretary General of the first International Arbitration Center in Georgia. JIC was established in 2013, and Beka has since then made an immense effort into making arbitration popular in Georgia and in making Georgia as an arbitration hub in this region. Our next guest is Sofie Tkemaladze. Sofie is an absolute pioneer for arbitration and mediation in Georgia. She brought Visma to this country, and therefore generations of lawyers in Georgia owe their careers, like myself, to Sofie's dedication to teaching and promoting arbitration. Until recently, she was chair of the Georgian Association of Arbitrators. She's currently member of the board of the Mediation Association of Georgia. In 2020, she co-founded an organization called Resolve, which aims at serving and promoting effective dispute resolution and dispute management in Georgia as well as abroad. My next guest is the rising star of the Georgian arbitration community. He has been ranked by Forbes as 30 under 30. He teaches arbitration at different universities. He's head of legal at KPMG and recently became chairperson of the Georgian Association of Arbitrators. I'm very excited to meet Jaba Gvelebiani.
Well, arbitration has undergone several reforms in our country as a result of the joint action from the different actors, starting with the government, the non-profit sector and the private sector. Today, the arbitration has been transformed into very viable means of resolving the commercial disputes. Although still the arbitration is really mostly focused on the resolution of the consumer disputes, so with the efforts from the private sector, more and more private companies are including the arbitration as a means of dispute resolution, and we have observed the growing number of commercial business-to-business disputes.
One clear trend, I think, is that there's an increased interest among lawyers to find out more about arbitration.
That's great.
So it's more like we are dissatisfied with litigation. We know, we have heard arbitration is good, so let's learn more so that they're more comfortable with the process. So that's the trend that I've noticed. Some of the courses which the Georgian Association of Arbitrators has are overbooked by lawyers who want to learn more about arbitration. The practice itself of arbitration, I think there are some cases already which have matured, so there is a slow but increased referral of cases.
Arbitration as a mean of the dispute settlement in the whole world is the most important mechanism, and we don't see any international transactions without arbitration. Likewise, in Georgia, we think that the trend is going up. And what I mean going up, that the arbitration culture of arbitration is not counting a long time. And we are facing that today the all legal community, they are trying to popularize the arbitration and trying to convince the businesses and their client that the arbitration is the most preferred means of the dispute settlement.
My passion is actually what I do. For example, mediation and teaching is something that I enjoy very much, that keeps me motivated. When the parties are themselves able to find a resolution to their own problem, and when they're able to move forward, that's very gratifying. And the same about teaching. It's very motivating, fulfilling. That's definitely one of the things that I'm passionate about. Other than that, it's sports. I'm a lot into sports. I play tennis, I hike, I run. So nature and sports, the combination of nature and sports is something that makes me happy.
I have been in legal practice, in private legal practice for all my career, and during these years I have greatly focused my professional development around the arbitration. I greatly motivated by teaching arbitration in Georgian universities, which has been a great source of inspiration, really, to observe how the year after year the young people are more and more aware of the arbitration, the practice and theory. Apart from that, my involvement in non-profit sector, which has been going on for years already, is really a great add-on to my private career in the field. And I think that I'm lucky to be able to practice arbitration, but at the same time to contribute in the development of academic studies in the field, as well as the non-profit civil society activities in this regard.
I want to begin that somehow the arbitration this is really very mine, and in all hold something in other activities. I always thinking about the arbitration. Sometimes in my family they are joking that this is the one of my kids there what I'm doing. Then I'm the guy who is watching maybe most of the sports. We have even tennis, even football and so on. But my favorite what I'm doing myself is skiing in wintertime, and you know that as we are talking about Georgia is the country mostly we have almost all the type types of the sports, and we have the sea, also we have the mountain resorts, and really I'm a fan of the skiing, and I try my best to find out the places, even in Georgia and outside Georgia as well, and so this is the one. And also I really wanted to say that somehow in these recent years I really like kind of job to work on the wood, you know, and I really interested in the wood and different specific woods, and really I love it and this is my something.
I can say that for past 10 years, the efforts taken by the civil society organizations and international donor organizations have been of paramount importance, because the organization which I am involved with, the Georgian Association of Arbitrators, have, for example, adopted the entire new model and system for the accreditation of arbitrators, and important steps have been taken to support the arbitration as profession, to establish, enhance, and implement the ethical rules in the profession. And overall, I think, considering our experience in the field, quite significant steps have been taken forward, although there is still room for much more.
And you think that, because I have talked to other leading individuals in Georgia, and we have been talking about growth of Georgia as a regional hub. Do you think that is something we can achieve in this region?
I think that there is definitely potential. We have to all be patient and understanding that becoming the regional hub and attracting the arbitrations from all over the world, especially in the region, requires quite a lot of preparation from us, the local community. Considering the steps that have been taken, the resources spent in the education, and the practice that we have so far, all of this gives me very positive outlook about future and about especially being the regional hub. But I think that we have to jointly continue taking the steps to actually rectify the problems that currently exist in the practice. And if we manage to continue the growth, yes, Tbilisi is a great location.
Very interesting topic, and the topic we are talking about as well, the friends and to the colleagues. I think that the most recent, and I think that recent goes back to the 10 years before, when new law came up from Parliament, and you know that the Georgia is based on the Unistram model law, and I think that the new law was really very, very important instrument for us, and I think that from that time, it was 2010, the arbitration has gave up newborn, and we have brought new regulations, and I think that it was a new good beginning of developing and building up arbitration, and really think that this is something we have done already. And I think that the most important for us, and what we think that we have and we can do in Georgia, is that to develop Georgia and create Georgia as a center of dispute settlement and also for arbitration. This is one of the main aim for GIAC, because you know that the GIAC is administrating the dispute, and at the same time we are the institution who is developing arbitration in the country and in the whole region. I think that to summarize and sum up, my idea is that our goal and perspective is to develop the Georgia as international arbitration hub, and I think that the country has really potential of that, and I think that with the hard work, we work together and to unite our forces, I think that all the players, I think that we will do that.
The first and the basic step was obviously adoption of the new law on arbitration based on the UNCITRAL model law. So it's over 10 years that we now have a good law, which is the foundation for it. Next important step in promotion, I think, is that we now have a generation of lawyers coming for the last 15 years who know what arbitration is, who are passionate about arbitration, and who are in practice already and at different levels of legal profession in Georgia. So I think that has been an important step in promoting arbitration in Georgia. And the next one is, I think, creation of some Georgian language literature and materials. Why? Because we adopted new law on arbitration, and obviously court practice is critical, right? How will the judges apply the law? And the judges were unaware of those principles that the model law is based, of the new kind of and modern liberal party autonomy based principles. So it was necessary to create, to build their capacity in applying the law, and the Georgian arbitration community has done a lot in that sense, has created guide for judges on arbitration, has translated enormous amount of foreign literature, guide on about the New York Convention, various guidelines related to arbitration practice. So I think that has enormously contributed to developing positive and arbitration-friendly case law in Georgia.
You mean we have already started doing all that, or the community here in Georgia has already started doing that, but we need to continue even further?
Absolutely. There's a work to be done, definitely. And the same factor, the court efficiency and court jurisprudence about arbitration has a room to improve, definitely. So parties, when if they are to refer their dispute to arbitration, they want to know two things: that it will be final, there will be no revision on the merits, and then it will be efficient, so that when they have an arbitration award, they will get enforcement timely. And I think those are the two areas where there's room to work on.
I really hope so. I really hope to see, of course, our little yet very interesting country flourish in that way, and to make Georgia as a regional, at least a regional hub for arbitration. Thank you, Beka, for meeting me today. It was a very interesting interview.
Thank you very much, and I think that I want to thank you for the inviting me in this project. I wish you success, and I think that the project will be good in the future.
Sofie, thank you so much for having me today here.
Thank you, Nata.
I really hope that we can achieve that, and Tbilisi can be one of the hubs for arbitration. Well, thank you so much for your time again. This was very interesting.
Thank you for coming.